Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Sometimes after a sketching session, I have a drawing that I would love to turn into a painting. So I need to transfer my sketch, and to do that, I often use tracing paper. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you my process and how I go from this to this. We will need a few things though. Something to tape your sketch down to. I'm using a hardboard panel, masking tape, pencils. I use both a mechanical pencil and a Prismacolor kohl erase pencil, and of course, tracing paper. I'm going to be using a roll of tracing paper. These materials can be purchased from your local art store or from online. Alrighty, let's get started. The first thing I did was I scanned my sketch and opened it in Photoshop. Sometimes you may have to resize the sketch depending on the size of the surface you're going to use, but I was using a small wooden panel, so I didn't need to resize my sketch. The one thing you have to do is to make sure that your sketch is flipped. This will ensure that your sketch isn't backwards after you transfer it. If you don't flip your sketch, it will be backwards. Print out your sketch and tape it down. Now you don't have to use a hardboard. You can tape it down to your desk or a table, but I like to tape it down to something that is movable so I can rotate and turn the paper to make it easier to trace the lines. Make sure that your paper is smooth and flat because wrinkles will distort your sketch. Next, get your tracing paper ready. Since I'm using a rather large roll, I like to cut my tracing paper to match the size of my painting surface. So I put my panel down on my tracing paper and draw an outline that's a bit bigger than my actual panel and cut it out. Now put your piece of tracing paper over your sketch and tape it down. Make sure the paper is flat and even so your sketch doesn't get distorted. Once you have everything taped down, sharpen your pencil and get to work. I'm using a color pencil to trace, but you can use a graphite pencil. I prefer to use color pencils because they blend in better with my paint and they don't smudge nearly as bad as graphite pencils. I am not concerned with getting any of the shading that I did on the sketch because that will change once I actually start painting. My main concern is making sure I'm getting the correct proportions and shapes transferred to my panel. Once you get your tracing done, it's time to tape the tracing paper to your surface. Make sure that you place the pencil side down. Move your sketch around until you have it where you want it and then tape it down. Make sure that it is taut and wrinkle-free. Once you have everything where you like it, use something to trace over your lines. I am using a mechanical pencil for this part because the lead is thin enough to create nice fine lines, but strong enough to withstand the pressure I am putting on it. Now I am using a fair amount of pressure as I trace over my lines, but that is because I'm tracing onto wood and it can withstand it. If you're transferring your image to paper or canvas, I recommend using light pressure and going over the lines multiple times because tracing paper is fairly delicate and your pencil can rip it and actually rip down to your surface. Once you get done tracing all your lines, remove your paper and you're done. Now this next part is totally optional and you don't have to do it, but because the surface outline is so faint, I like to go over all my lines again just so that way I can see them better. You don't have to do this, but I find that it helps. And there you go, you are now ready to start working on your piece. Using tracing paper is just one of the many ways to transfer your sketches to a new surface. Let me know in the comments section if you'd like to see more methods. I really hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you would like to see more art videos like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that thumbs up if you're a fan of dragons. And if you would like to continue following my art journey, then follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at SaynaFineArt. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!